What's going on? Appreciate you stopping in. One of the biggest question marks of this New York Jets offseason has been Corey Davis. If he is a cap casualty, what do we do at the wide receiver Z position? We've talked about keeping Corey Davis. We talked about hitting free agency. Pretty steep. Guys like Allen Lazard might run you $12, $13 plus million. The draft, do you take a flyer on a third round receiver to come in and compete with a guy like Denzel Mims, who could potentially break out in year 4 with a new offensive coordinator? But I think there's a solution that's not perfect, but is very viable, that's hiding in plain sight in the same stadium that our beloved Jets play in. Darius Slayton, wide receiver, New York Giants. Pending free agent, 25 years old, 6'1", 195 pounds, sub 4.4 speed. Young, durable, production. I'm looking at 3 of his 4 seasons in his career. He has suited up for 15 games or more and had 700 plus yards receiving. A staggering 15.2 yards per catch in his career. Deep threat. Projected only to command $3 or $4 million a year. Young, durable, speedy, decent production, cheap. What's the catch? Pun intended, he struggles to do just that. Some horrendous drops. And I know, why in the world would you want to sign a receiver who drops passes? Well, because Corey Davis drops a lot of passes. Allen Lazard drops way more passes than you'd like, and so does Denzel Mims. And unlike Davis and Lazard, Darius Slayton would be very inexpensive. And unlike Denzel Mims, Slayton has a proven track record of a minimum threshold of production that you can rely on. And then you can save that third round pick to address another area of your team, and you have a cheap wide receiver 3 with Garrett Wilson as your wide receiver 1, of course. Elijah Moore giving you wide receiver 2 production out of the slot. I believe you can do that with upgrades at quarterback and OC. And then Slayton is a deep threat and your wide receiver 3. And if you are a Mims truther, or if you still take a wide receiver in the mid rounds, there's a competition in training camp. If Mims is better, he'll be the wide receiver 3, and Darius Slayton will be a slightly overpaid wide receiver 4, and it'll be just fine. I think this is a very pragmatic solution to the wide receiver need, allowing the Jets to be judicious there and spend the bulk of their money upgrading at quarterback and hopefully offensive tackle. Hey, speaking of offensive tackle, Robert Saleh talked about Dwayne Brown, Zach Wilson, Derek Carr, Mike White, and more in his combine presser. I'll see you there as we break down that one. Subscribe if you're new. Go Jets.